Jai. Jai. Jai.
Welcome to part 2 of the Srila Gurudev Tirobhav Mahamahotsava, the afternoon session. The devotees haven't arrived yet. I don't even know if they've partially digested their lunch prasadam yet.
And the big festival was in Rup Sanatan.
Yes. The main festival took place at Rup Sanatan Gauriya Math, but so many devotees were here, so there would have been not enough room there.
It was good.
So it was good. We had I wouldn't call it the overflow. We had a program here this morning, and so now we're going to start with bhajans and then more remembrances and glorifications of Srila Gurudev now. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Srila Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Should I put another mic on you, or will Kartal's mic come through loud?
Yeah, I don't need a mic.
Okay. Was that your light that got busted?
Yes.
But you could just put the thing back inside, right, and snap it together. Okay. Maharaj was like, I'm so sorry.
I didn't even know what happened.
He knocked it over, the light came out.
I remember picking the thing up going, whose is this? Okay. It'd be good for you to have one of those lights.
Vaman Goswami Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Vishnupadaya Gaurapresthaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyana Keshava Yukti Namine Atimargacchanitraya Swashritanancha Paline Jivadukhe Sadarataya Shri Nama Premadayine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanami Devi Daitaya Kripabhaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jvala Premanya Shri Rupananda Bhaktina Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Ninatarine Rupananga Virudhapa Siddhanta Dhantaharine Gaur Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambhara Sambodhe Padam Puchayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Marayate Gauravir Bhava Bhume Swan Nirdeshta Sajana Priya Vaishnava Sarva Bhoma Shri Jagannatayate Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jayatam Surato Pango Mama Bandam Matergati Matsarvasvapadambojo Radha Madanamo Hano Divyam Vrindaranykalpadrumadam Shrimad Ratnagara Sinhasanastho Shri Shri Radha Shrila Govinda Devo Presthadini Sevyamano Smarami Shrimad Rasarasarabhudhi Vanshimata Tatastitaha Karshanmeno Swaragopir Gopinath Shri Stunaha Vrindaye Tulasi Devyai Priyaye Keshava तस्य च कृष्णा भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवते नमो नमः पंचतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे You begun to digest prasadam? You need one? Nantika. Okay. So, do the Guru Bhajan? Guru Charana Kamal Bhajaman? Kripa Vindiya? Charana Kamal Bhajaman. Good prayer. Shri Guru Charana Kamal Bhajaman, page 359, written by Srila Gurudev Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Yeah. Shri Guru Charana वर्ग की जय, श्री गुरु परंपरा की जय। Vaishnava.
Hari Hari Kabe More Habe Hinodin Bimala Vaishnava.
Yeah, beautiful. What page is that? Bimala Vaishnava. Oh, the mic is here. So whatever you tell here.
Hari Hari Kabe More Habe Hinodin.
Is that in the Vaishnava section?
Yes.
That would be on page... Page 41.
Page 41.
By Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Is the green light on here?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Hari Hari Kabe mor habe henodin.
Hari Hari
Kabe mor habe henodin. Bimala Vaishnava Rati Upajive. Bimala Vaishnava Rati Upajive. Vasana hoi degi. Vasana hoi degi. Hari Hari Kabe mor habe henodin. Ayantare bahire samavyabahar. Antare bahire samavyabahar. Amanina havo ami. Krishna Sankirtane, Shri Krishna Smarane,
Shri Krishna Sankirtane, Shri Krishna
Smarane, Krishna Sankirtane, Shri Krishna Smarane, Krishna Sankirtane, Shri Krishna Smarane, Satatamajiya Prabhu, Satatamajiya Prabhu. Edeher kriya abhyas koribo. Jivana japana lagi. Shri Krishna bhajane anukula jaha. Shri Krishna bhajane anukula jaha. Tahe hoy anuragi. Tahe hoy Kabe mor habe henodin. আশা করি বসিয়া ভদ্র ভবনে ভগতি বিনয় এই আশা করি বসিয়া ভদ্র ভবনে ও প্রভু কৃপা
Okay. Yang Kalirupa Sharira Nadharata. Calling out for the mercy of Sri Rupa Goswami by Sri Radha Mohan Das. One of the favorites of our Srila Gurudev. 47 in our Sri Gauriya Gita Gucha, the Madhukar version. Where's the new one? Oh, it's not out yet. Yang Kalirupa Shariran Nadharata Yang Kalirupa Yang Kalirupa Shariran Nadharata पान विधाय रतिरहं सरं पान विधाय पूर्णं Nitai Gaur, so let's Gauranga Balita. Do you want to lead it or do you want to lead it Radha Krishna? Gauranga Balite Habe, Pulaka Sharir. Page 86 by Srila Narottam Das Thakur. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि की जय, श्री रघुनाथ जू की जय। Mahamantra. I need to meet anyone who can help.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. सारी राधा कृष्ण मिले बताओ करो माया कीर्तन धाम प्रचारी राधे श्याम 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 Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Shritai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
गुरुवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीश्रीमार्भक्तिवेदान्तनारायणनित्यनामिने। नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीश्रीमार्भक्तिवेदान्तवामन गोस्वामी इत्यनामिने। नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नित्यनामिने। नमः विष्णुपदाय गौरप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीश्रीमार्भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव इत्यनामिने। नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीश्रीमार्भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती इत्यनामिने। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Srila Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Ashtotara Shata Shri Sriman Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Swami Maharaj, whose auspicious Tirobhav Mahamahotsav disappearance anniversary we are observing today. Next, I offer my same thousands of Dandavat Pranam in the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Ashtotara Shata Shri Sriman Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, whose auspicious Avirbhav Mahamahotsav appearance celebration we are observing today. Next, I offer the same thousands of Dandavat Pranam in the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Ashtotara Shata Shri Sriman Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and to all of our Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas past, present, and future, including all of you who are present here physically and all of you virtually, I offer my Dandavat Pranam. So we are continuing with this morning's session. Many of the devotees haven't yet arrived because they're still digesting prasadam. It was a big feast, no? So, are you okay there? But they will come gradually because there is nothing greater than glorifying and hearing the glories of the pure devotees. This is what Krishna likes more than anything. He wants to also hear the glories of his devotees. So the devotees' glories are so great, especially our Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that Krishna becomes the property of the maidservants of Srimati Radhika. And all of those in our Rupanuga Guru Varga who are true Rupanugas, according to the very, very strong, convicted definition given by our Gurudev of the definition of what is Rupanuga, they are of that nature, the maidservants of Srimati Radharani. So these personalities are not ordinary. They are exceedingly powerful, so powerful that they can block Krishna. How is that possible? The impossible can become possible when love is in control. And so Srila Gurudev emphasized this kind of love and affection, the kind that can control Krishna. Why would we want to control Krishna? Because that's what he wants. He wants to be controlled by love and affection. So glorifying the pure devotees, remembering them, taking shelter of them, associating with them, this is the most important thing for us. As it is told in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the birthplace of bhakti is the association of Krishna's pure devotees. And even after the attainment of perfection, which is Krishna Prem, still the most essential thing is Sadhu Sangha. Krishna Prema Janme Tenho Puna Mukhya Anga. Mukhya means the most essential thing, that thing which is the center, even after the attainment of perfection. This is the most essential thing. So today we receive the opportunity to be able to remember the glories, the pastimes, the instructions, the impact on us and on our God brothers and God sisters and the world that these two great personalities, Srila Gurudev Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj and Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, had and continue to have on us in our lives. It is a great, great, great fortune for all of us. So, I wrote down many names this morning, and they're there somewhere. So, I don't want to ask anyone who doesn't want to speak first, because no one ever wants to speak first. I was actually going to ask you to speak before him, because Shakti, then Shakti man. So I would like to call on Bakula Didi to please come forward and offer your Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev. Before you begin, everyone, I would just like to let you know that we have a 10-minute limit. I will ching the kartals at 11 minutes, I'll ching twice. At 12 minutes, I'll ching, ching, ching. Please don't take it personally. This is my seva so that everyone can have an opportunity to speak. And also I'm requesting everyone to please keep the focus on Srila Gurudev and Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, the speciality of their gifts to this world. And don't be afraid to share anything, because you never know. That one little thing, sometimes Gurudev would say 2 words. But that one little thing or those 2 little words can make the difference in someone's life. Make it or break it. It can be that powerful. So, would you like the chair or the... Okay. Let me just get this camera from behind you first. What is it? She's not going to speak? Radhika, are you going to speak next?
Om Gyanatimirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Bhaktya Vihinaya Parada Lakshaya Kshiptastakamani Tarangamatya Tipamai Tvam Charanam Pavanam Vinde Namaste Charanam Vindam Vanchakalpatarupya Sakripa Zindupya Evacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. I offer my unlimited obeisances under the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev Nitya Lila Pavishtam Vishnupad Ashtotara Sata Shishmat Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shiksha Guru Nitya Lila Pavishtam Vishnupad Ashtotara Sata Shishmat Bhaktivigyan Bharati Maharaj, lotus feet of the Acharyas, exalted Acharyas in our Guru Varga, all Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis present today here on this auspicious day. We are actually residing in one universe which is consisting out of 14 planetary systems. This is one universe. So we are in the middle of this universe, on Mother Earth. We hear it again and again that these 7 planets which are above us, Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha, Maha, Tapa, Jana, Svarga, Atal, Sutal, Patal, then comes Tal, Rasatal, Mahatal, Patal. So all these planetary systems are described in Bhagavatam, and there is a verse in the Puranas describing which place is the most auspicious, most exalted place in the whole universe. This is Prithvi, the Mother Earth. Why? Why is the Mother Earth so exalted and auspicious? Because Jambu Dweep, Bharadvas, is within, or is lying on the surface on Mother Earth, is contained in Mother Earth. Why Jambudvip is so auspicious? Now because of Rajmandal. Rajmandal, why is Rajmandal so auspicious? Because of Mathura. Mathura is so exalted because Vrindavan is contained within this realm of Mathura, and Mathura, Bhumi is so exalted. Krishna has performed his pastimes here. So our Srila Gurudev, he came, and the first verse I learned by heart was from Upadeshamrita, the verse Tanama Rupa Charitadi Sukhirtanano Smityokhanena Nasanena Niyoja Tishtam Rajetat Anurahi Jananugame Kalam Nayet Akilam Ityupadesha Sharam. What is the essence of all these instructions in the scriptures? All Upanishads, they say one thing, that be in Vrindavan under the guidance of Rasik Vaishnavas, Tat Anugami Jananugami. Be in this association and reside in Vrindavan. So many I see here, I look around, are doing this. Why is it possible? Only because of the mercy of our Srila Gurudev. He has opened up for us this most secret, or the depth of the Upanishads, the essence of all scriptures. So when I was so thrilled, I thought I have to, follow this advice Gurudev is always emphasizing. And I asked some devotees in Germany, and they said, actually this verse doesn't mean it with the body, because who can live with this body here in Vrindavan? Be there by mind, no problem. But actually it is distorted interpretation of this verse. It is very clear. Tishtam Vrache Tat Anugami Jananugami. We have to be here by body. Now we all know who are residing here since many years. It is not an easy thing. It is very challenging, but we somehow feel that if we follow really in the footsteps of our acharyas and follow the words of Gurudev, we can reach it is possible to reach high. It is possible to leave behind these bindings, this coming and going in this cycle of birth and death. Gurudev said you have to stop this cycle of birth and death. We are roaming around since time immemorial from one species to the other. So our Gurudev was carrying in his heart this compassion, which actually was given by Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu is Mahavandanyaya, Mahakaruna, Mahadaya. So this compassion was carried by our Gurudev, and he spread it everywhere. So our Gurudev said sometimes, he gave a beautiful example. He said, there is one king, to describe the mercy of Mahaprabhu. There is one king. One day he calls all the citizens, come, 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 come. You can get everything, rice, dal, kheer. Bring some container and I fill them up. You can get as much as you want. So they are all come running with their balls and pots. But some are standing in the back. They say, we don't have any container. Then the king is even more merciful. He called some servant and said, over there, those who have no containers, give them also some container. So they receive container, and then they can fill up their containers with rice, dal, sabji, everything. So this is actually this unconditional mercy our Srila Gurudev has shown. He followed Prabhupada's footsteps. He followed and went to the most fallen, we can say, because I had no container. I had no container. Until now, I still feel I have no container. I mean, Kishore Mahan, Prabhu Sudevi, they have taken birth in Vaishnava families, but I have not even taken birth in a Vaishnava family. My parents were Christians, and I heard the name Krishna when I was 23, the first time in my life. So I had really no container. I have no container. But Gurudev is giving, like Mahaprabhu, Mahavandaya. Mahaprabhu is Ashraya. He's relishing as an Ashraya. Gurudev wanted us to understand God Tattva very, very deeply. Therefore, everywhere where he went, he emphasized on certain shlokas, like Shri Radha Panaya Mahima Kadishu Vanajavas, Saukyam Kadishu Vamadiya. So what is actually the reason why Mahaprabhu came, and who is Mahaprabhu? So he emphasized that we really deeply understand it, because Mahaprabhu is relishing as an Ashraya, not as a Vishaya. Although he is Krishna, he is relishing as Ashraya. He wanted to understand the glories of Srimati Radhika's love and the wonderful qualities within him, which he cannot relish, only through the love of Srimati Radhika. And also the happiness then Srimati Radhika, only she feels when she relishes the sweetness of Krishna's love. So it takes some time to deeply absorb, because so many say, oh, Mahaprabhu is not Bhagavan. But I was just completing to read Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the original form of Godhead, where our Gurudev had made such a wonderful compilation of giving evidences from all the scriptures that Mahaprabhu is Bhagavan, Swayam Bhagavan. He writes in his introduction that actually his Param Gurudev, he was challenged one day in one assembly. Give us evidence that Mahaprabhu is Bhagavan. So then his Param Gurudev, our Bhakti Bhagavan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, he collected he recited many verses. So our Gurudev collected them all, and then later on Vaman Goswami Maharaj, he added more, and he himself then went into research. So this booklet is so profound and so important for us. We may in this lifetime not be able to remember all these verses, but at least we know they are there, and we have the proof. We can defend ourselves. We are sure that he is not simply a devotee or a bhakta. No, he is Bhagavan Swayam. He came in this Kali Yuga exactly after Mahaprabhu, after Sri Krishna's appearance, and performed his most merciful pastimes here to give to the lowest. So, yes, Srila Gurudev, he completed his pastimes in Jagannath Puri. This is the place of deep separation. Gurudev always wanted to make us also come into this mood of doing sadhan, bhajan, in this mood of viraha, like Raghunath Das Goswami in his Vilap Kusmandri is describing. And he chose this place to live. From the beginning, when I met Srila Gurudev, until the end, everything is a teaching. Everything is a teaching. Also here, we see that Srila Gurudev, he chose this place because I think through his whole life, through his effort and giving everything, his whole, he practically surrendered fully in this mission of preaching. He has definitely also attained the mood of being able to relish this viraha. Because there is, Gurudev told us, there is one verse which Madhavendra Puri was reciting. Aidina dayada nata he mathura nata kadavalokya se vidayam tvat alokayam vidaya tvat aloka kadaram daita brahmani kim karumi aham. This verse which Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami says, actually only Srimati Radhika, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Madhavendra Puri could relish to the highest degree, like could really merge into this, because feeling this kata, this pain of separation, is something which you have to be eligible. You have to be really qualified to relish separation. Separation is nothing which is very easily experienced. So, and because Gurudev chose this place to live, and some devotees also told when he was sitting and looking towards the ocean, and this whole Puri is saturated with this Vidaha Bhav, so he was experiencing this separation, this deep separation mood. Sripad Vaman Maharaj today, his appearance day, I was also very fortunate to meet Sripad Vaman Maharaj. Although at that time when I saw him, he was in his lila of being like withdrawn, so he was not speaking, but hearing his glories and then seeing him at the same time and understanding that these three beautiful pillars, they had no envious towards each other. Even when they asked Sripad Vaman Maharaj to be the Acharya, he said, no, I don't want. Sri Narayan Maharaj is more qualified, like actually opposite of what we see or experience sometimes in our days. So we have to learn from these great personalities who just, gave us their darshan. We have to learn from them. As a young boy, his whole life he surrendered into service. He was serving and he was receiving some sweets for learning sloks, and in this way he learned thousands of sloks. He was a library of knowledge, and he had memorized practically all verses contained within our scriptures, which are important. And so we are praying today, or I'm praying today, that I'm so much unqualified and fallen, like I said at the beginning, actually without container. But that there is a hope, because Gurudev, while giving to all of us, he knew, while starting this process, it is definitely possible even for those who have practically no qualification. It will be possible because when once this chitta, the heart, is cleansed, then it doesn't matter. It says in the scriptures, you can be a chandala, you can be even preaching, and you can be from a low caste. It doesn't matter where you come from. You have to have the qualification. And the qualification is coming when Gurudev and Vaishnavas bestow the mercy upon us. So we beg for mercy on this day. And you all also bless me.
Thank you, Bakula Didi, for sharing so many beautiful points of Srila Gurudev's teachings. When she was speaking, she kept talking about the pot. And I know Srila Gurudev, we would glorify Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu as being those divine personalities who didn't have any requirements of us. That they would come, if we didn't have a pot, they would give us the pot and they would fill it with nectar. Once we were in Bath, in England, and what? That's what they call it. I don't know any other name. Except when some people call it Bath, I don't know. So we were in Bath and we went to see Srila Gurudev at the home of Yashodananda Prabhu and Ananga Mohini. And at that time, Srila Gurudev was sitting there and he said, I am like a pot mender. He said, I see that so many in this world, their hearts are like broken pots. Again and again and again, they have been shattered into thousands of pieces. But I'm opening my shop and I'm calling. Anyone who has a broken pot, you should come to me. Come to me and I will fix it, free of charge. And then I will fill it with nectar. But then he looked at all of us and he got tears in his eyes and he said, but no one is coming. He said, if no one comes, then I will have to close my shop and go to the next village and call out there. So Gurudev has come for the same purpose. Our hearts are the pots, but they're broken. They have been, how does Srila Gaura Govinda Maharaj say it? Disappointed again and again, shattered. But our Guru Varga, our Rupanuga Guru Varga, our Gurudev is so merciful, so sweet, he will fix it for free and fill it with nectar. Next, I would like to call Manjulali Didi to please come forward. Are you not ready yet? Are you ready? Okay. Did she? Oh, and Kamalakanta Prabhu is there also. Come. Just remember, your father is a lion.
Majnanatimirandasya Dhyananjanam Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namo Gurave Gurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaye Namo Namo Vancha Kalpa Tarvyascha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, I just feel very, very fortunate to be just now here sitting in front of all these Vaishnavas. I feel very fortunate to be in the association of those who associate with Gurudev, who passed so much time with him, that dedicated their life to serve him, to serve his teaching. So I feel very grateful to be here. And I also feel very grateful to be able to say even small broken words for Gurudev. At least something we can, like, our life, our everything is Gurudev. So at least we can just try to, even if it's something broken, but say something. So Srila Gurudev, one time in one class, he was saying that actually to realize what is the mercy of Sri Guru, this is our bhajan. The day we actually can realize what he has given us, we can realize what is his mercy. That day our bhajan will start. So, and today this was spoken so strongly, and Gurudev himself, when he was glorifying Srila Bhagavan Goswami Maharaj, say, to be able to serve Vaishnava, we want to serve Guru, but we don't just want to serve, we want to serve with Vishramba, with very much intimacy, closeness. Because then, unless it's at this level, really will not please their heart desire. And Gurudev said, the only way this is possible is if we know their conceptions, if we can follow their conceptions. So today we heard very strongly this, and this is something very important. Actually, I was reading today letter that is very, very beautiful, where Srila Bhagavan Goswami Maharaj is writing to Srimati Umadevi, and he's saying so many beautiful instructions there. But then at the beginning he's saying we should control our wicked mind, making it understand again and again that our true auspiciousness is in following the order and instructions of Guru and Vaishnavas. This is where true auspiciousness is. So when I contemplated what's Gurudev's conception, what is Gurudev's mercy, what Gurudev is giving us, so every Vaishnava has something very special. And Gurudev came to give something that is so special. Actually, he gave very strong emphasis in our goal. What is our aspiration? This is something that it's very clearly a gift of Gurudev. Otherwise, we can do so many things, but if that goal is not clear, then where are we going? And Gurudev make it so clear. But there is something there that is extremely valuable. Actually, we know that our nature is being servant. This is very inherent to us. It's something that is part of ourselves. But then, why we cannot naturally serve Radha and Krishna? Why? Why? Because right now we don't want. And Gurudev said, when we will be able to give up all the other desires, then we will be able to do bhajan, So, and Srila Bhakti-Rakshaka Srila Goswami Maharaj also emphasized, he said, actually bhajan is very easy, but we don't want. We don't want Krishna, we don't want Srimati Radhika, we don't want, But then Gurudev's speciality is there. Because actually we think desire, when the desire becomes very strong, very, very strong, this is greed. When the desires become so much that you cannot live with anything else, this is your obsession. You feel like without this you cannot live. This is greed. It's a very strong desire. Until we don't have this, we cannot get Radha Krishna. We cannot get that such elevated call that Gurudev came to give. But there is something very beautiful with desire. We don't need qualification to desire. And this is something that is our hope. Gurudev will say okay, you may want to be with the Princess Diana, but maybe you get it or not, that's another thing, but you can desire. For desire there is no qualification. And this is something very important of Gurudev, because Gurudev knew this, and he knew that actually the only thing that is stopping us to go in there is because we don't want. So then he gave so much affection. Srila Bhagavan Goswami Maharaj, in the same letter to Srimati Umadevi, he's saying that actually, why the Vaishnavas give so much affection is to support our spiritual life. In this way, they encourage us and they make us inclined, because where are our desires? Where attachment is, where we feel the affection. So then they saw affection, then they steal our hearts. Even for me, I didn't come in contact much with Gurudev, very little. Even when I came, but still, they're so affectionate. They're affectionate through his devotees, through his instruction, through his example, through and then and Srila Gurudev's also, he spoke Harikatha that was so powerful. Actually, we sing every morning, Sri Radhika Madhavayara Para Madhurya Leela Gunarupanam Pratikshana Swadana Lolupasya. Sri Guru is full, and our Gurudev was full of the eagerness for the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, for the service of Srimati Radhika. He was full of that. So every single word of him was full of that. That's why his katha was so powerful. That's why he can bring Braj, because he was full of this eagerness. Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj actually, and I was reading when he's glorifying Srimati Radhika, and he say actually, we can know the gradation of devotion according to their eagerness. And actually, like the glory of Srimati Radhika, and the reason why she can relish Krishna's beauty and can serve him to the most is because of her eagerness. Eagerness is actually so valuable. It's due to eagerness that one is becoming inclined to serve. It's due to eagerness that Krishna becomes greedy to get something. You know? So, and it's that greed that Gurudev wanted to give. This is his highest treasure. And if we see, like, we can open any of the songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, is the verses of Srila Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, what they are, when, it's eagerness, it's just that eagerness, searching again. Mahaprabhu, who is Mahaprabhu? It's Krishna with so strong desire to realize what she is feeling when Krishna is married, because we are following this path of separation. But what means separation? It's actually is that eagerness. When we see Mahaprabhu, what he's doing, where can I find Krishna? Where can I meet him? Where can I serve him? Now that's, if any prayer, Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, we see like Vilakta Sumanjali, Utkalika Valari, any prayer, they are begging for service, they are begging to have the darshan, they showing that strong eagerness. And this is what Gurudev wanted to give. This is his highest treasure. That's why he spoke so beautiful Harikatha. That's why he brought Braj, and he brought that sweetness and that his own eagerness. He just opened it aside, you know. And it's our life to try to bring that eagerness in our heart. You know, I feel like for us, days like us, we can just see how much we are actually eager for that. How much are we praying? How much we are trying to enter in those prayers? How much we are trying to make this our life? Because we can have everything, but if that desire is not there, then what we have? This is what Gurudev wanted to give. This is what Mahaprabhu wanted to give, you know. So, and I feel like very connected to there is some speciality of Gurudev that's very, very, very big. Is Brajamandal and Brajamandal Parikram. You know, many Vaishnavas have done parikramas, but none like Gurudev. None has done such emphasis that we need to do parikram. We need to. Why? Because Gurudev knew that actually by doing parikram that greed can come. Gurudev himself, one time they were asking him why we do parikrama. And Gurudev was saying because to restore the places so that they don't get lost. Our Rupa Goswami, Shila, all our big Goswamis, and they restored all these places. And Gurudev said it's very important we go all the time so then they don't get covered again, you know. And then Gurudev say also it's very good to go into this, he's going in gradation. I say like it's also very important going to these places of pastime because our heart becomes purified. You know, there's in Hamsa Dutta, there is a prayer where Lalita is saying to the Hamsa, he say like, when you go, she could say like, just go straight to Krishna and bring this message to Krishna. But she say no, you first go to this place and you go to this other place, and then in one verse she's saying, because by going to these places your heart will become pure, you know. And then after Gurudev was saying that because he has this so strong faith of the boon that Narad asked for. And this was something very important. This is something Gurudev makes so much emphasis. So the story is long, but Narad, after all this first canto of Brihad-bhattamrita, when he's trying to find who is the best object of the mercy of Krishna, you know, at the end, when they constructed this Nava Vrindavan, and then after Krishna came, and then when he realized it's not Braj, when he tried to enter in Yamuna, that was actually the ocean, and then he saw Dwarka, and it's like, what is this, you know? And then Balaram started telling everything, and Narad, he was feeling like so ashamed. He said like, oh my God, I have committed such offense, you know, I brought Krishna in such condition because Krishna was fully fainted, you know. And then Krishna said, actually, Krishna was so pleased. Why? Because Narad wanted to show the glory of Srimati Radhika. He wanted to show the glory of the Brajavasis, of the Brajadevis. So, and he said, I want to give you a boon. And then so Narad asked 2 boons. No, but the second one for us, and Gurudev will do so much emphasis in this. He said, like, if anyone goes to these places with Nam Sankirtan, hears the glory of these places, touch the dust of these places, Prem will come, for sure. We have it's the mercy of Narad given through Sanatan Goswami. This is our wealth, and Gurudev makes so much emphasis in this. You know? And for us, that connection, because actually, Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta, he says that Nam can give us that prem. And then, but Nam will not give us prem unless we are connected with the Dham. If we don't have connection with the Dham, if we don't have that mode of service, if we don't get the mercy of Dham, even if we are serving Nam, we will not get prem. And Gurudev knew all these things, and he made us connected with them. Even though, like Bakula Didi was saying, it's difficult and everything, but he stamped in our heart the necessity of like being able to connect with them, to serve with them, to serve those places, to serve the Harikatha in those places. And this is such a beautiful gift to Gurudev. And I just want to finish with just one small thing more. Like I really like to meditate in this. There was one time, Tamal Krishna Prabhu, he was singing this song, Radha Kunda Tata Kunja Kutira. And then at the end of the song, Gurudev say like a few words that are like so powerful. He say, I cannot say word by word everything, my memory is very foolish. But Gurudev is saying like, E Sava Chorata Kahi Nahi Jao. Now, when the day we will develop, he's saying like the banks of Radhakunda, the Giri Govardhan, Yamuna, and Vrindavan, and all the creepers, and all this, like the wind, and all these things of Raj are so valuable because these are Udipan for Radha Krishna, and for us is something so valuable. And Gurudev said, like, the day we can develop this mood, I don't want to go anywhere else, giving up all these things, anywhere else. You know, giving up all these things is like give up my life. You know, I don't feel that, but I hope one day that I will actually feel like leaving all these places, the contact with these places, glorifying these places, like giving up my life itself. You know, and then Gurudev say like whatever we are, however we should remember these things. And Gurudev at the end he said like if we follow properly, you know, if we follow properly, one day we will get that, you know. And because Gurudev gave that such a beautiful jewel, but he also told us that we need to follow. We need to chant. We need to like Bachao Vegan. We need to like. Gurudev makes so much emphasis, and he was so strong that we are proper following what our acharyas gave us and nothing else. What Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Srila Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta, and all our Guru Varga, what they gave us, this is what we need to follow. We not need to speculate anything. We no need to bring anything from anywhere else. We just need to surrender and just follow what they give us. And if we follow properly, we will get that. We will get that greed. We will get that like Gurudev. We're just like always hungering. Where? There is so many things, but I just feel like I pray the day that I actually can serve that, you know, that treasure of Gurudev, that this kind of hungering can come in my heart or in the heart of all of us, and then we can live a life that is just what Gurudev wants, you know. Pancha kalpa tarvyascha kripa sindhu vyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Thank you, Manjalali Didi, for a very beautiful focus on the teachings and the moods of Srila Gurudev. She put so much focus on this word eagerness, utkanta, and it reminded me of something. Gurudev asked the question, why do we give so much emphasis to the dust of Vrindavan? We roll in the dust, we put it on our heads, we throw it in our mouths, we glorify it, it's glorified everywhere. Why do we give so much emphasis to this dust? And Srila Gurudev said, on the full moon night, Sharad Purnima, Krishna was playing his flute just there at Vangshivat. Who heard that flute? Srimati Radhika heard that flute song, and all of her own manifestations as the gopis heard that flute song. It was an emergency call. Without you, I cannot maintain my life. And already it had stolen their hearts and was going back toward Krishna. So whatever they were doing, they stopped. And with great eagerness to serve Krishna, for his happiness, for his pleasure, for his benefit, they stopped whatever they were doing and ran by the millions from all directions toward the source of that flute song. Srila Gurudev said as they were running, their feet were pounding in the dust and leaving an imprint of their moods, their intense eagerness to serve Krishna. So Srila Gurudev said that this dust even a small particle of it, is enough to engender greed within our hearts to serve Krishna. So thank you for giving me that remembrance. Next, I'd like to call Kamalakanta Prabhu to come forward and offer your Pushpanjali to Srila Gurudev. Would you like to sit on the chair? No. Yep. Okay. Yeah. First of all, I offer my obeisances to my spiritual master, Nitya Leela Prabhupada Vishmaharaj, Shishimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj, and also to Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, his dear friend. And I ask his forgiveness that I cannot glorify him because I only saw him once, just a few weeks before he left his body. And he was not speaking at that time, and we were with a little group with Srila Bon Maharaj, and we were going around him, and he was smiling, he had a smile, like, the edges of his mouth, he went up to here. So he was very satisfied. So, but I also want to offer my obeisances to the Guru Parampara and all the assembled devotees. Are there any devotees here who have never met Gurudev personally? There are some, yeah, one, two. Yeah, most of them are disciples of Gurudev. Okay, good. But you can know him, you can meet him through his books, and they are so nice, Sometimes when I read Jaiva Dharma, and then, wow, this is great. And I read it a few times, and then the next time, but I have read this already. What is happening here? I have never detected this. So you can know him by reading his books. Yeah, and Jaiva Dharma is, when I read Jaiva Dharma, this is the best book. But then I read Bhajan Rahasya. Wow, Bhajan Rahasya. Now, this is the best book. Maybe you can make it. And, Srila Vaman Maharaj and Srila Gurudev, they had a very nice, close connection. And you see this also here. Because if you go out here of Gopinath Bhavan, you turn right, about 50 meters, there is a mat of Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj. And the devotees there, mainly Bengalis, so because Hindi, you cannot go very far probably there. I had a look today there, they also had a feast, and they were celebrating. Good. So they are together here also. And in Navadvip, they are together. We have the Devananda Gaudiya Mat is the Samadhi of Srila Vaman Maharaj. Then in our mat, Gurudev's, and then Trivikram Maharaj is also very close, the Ganga. Yeah, Srila Gurudev. I was very lucky. I think most of us, came through ISKCON to this movement and then to Srila Gurudev. And then in ISKCON, I read Bhagavad Gita, and on every third or fourth page, you need a guru, you need a guru, you need a guru. A bona fide guru, yes, good. So, and then, I asked a few gurus in ISKCON because I understood, and they did so much, but something is missing here. Huh? And they were a bit reluctant, and then I heard in the year 2000, I heard about Srila Narayan Maharaj, he's so and so, and then there was a festival in 2001 in Holland, and then someone told me, you should come for the weekend, and I came, and then, there was a big audience, and Gurudev was sitting there, wow. And for me, this looked like Gurudev, like a guru. He had the age, he had the appearance, But okay, you can say Shukdev Goswami is also guru. He's 16, very beautiful, energetic. But for me, this was guru, And because the other gurus in ISKCON, they were even younger than me.
So and then he said some very nice things, when he saw me. So and I was attracted to him, and I also could see the influence that he had on other people. I remember, I told it before, but anyway, some people who are new. So there was in Holland also, and he was speaking to a man, and then Gurudev asked him, "What is spiritual?" And this man said, "Well, everything is spiritual." And then Gurudev said, "So urine is spiritual?" Yes, urine, and what's the other one? He said, this is also spiritual. Stool, yes, he said stool is spiritual. No. And Gurudev was saying something, and then this man turned around and tears, like anything coming, I said, wow. And there was another episode, also in Holland. There was a Chinese girl, Chinese background, and she was introduced to Gurudev, and he looked at her, and she was standing up, and he said to her, "Stop eating meat." And she went down, and folded her hands, She became also disciple of Gurudev, So he could see, this is also, it's good for her, but it's also the people who were around who see this, see, wow, what an influence he has on people, He can really move us. And we saw this also, there's so many people came and became attracted. But also, before I met him, I saw one of his disciples. Okay, that's what at that time it was Aranya Maharaj. He was so fired up, and one devotee next to me said, "They are connected." So and we have never seen something like this in this other organization. So okay, and this was really really nice, and and then I tried to travel with him, and I always wanted to do some seva. I also massage him and open the doors. This was my seva, when we went on a morning walk. And that was nice. Sometimes I could ask some questions. And this is... And in the beginning I had not so much taste, but I asked him, I'm doing so much, I'm chanting, I'm this, and then, but I'm not really happy, And then, okay, great. Yeah. Okay, well, he didn't say very much, Are you my disciple? I said, yeah. Okay, that was, and then this festival was over, and then the next weeks, and so much taste were coming, so much, when I was chanting, and then in the evening chanting, and then I went to sleep. I couldn't. I wanted to get up, and chant. This was and easy, 30, 40 rounds, very easy, very easy. Yeah. So, but so this means also, there's something happening, and even if we go through a valley where it's not so nice, still we have to remember these things. When it was really, there is something which is not from this world. This is the thing, yeah. And when Gurudev left his body, but then, well, of course, we were sad, but still I was happy because I was connected with the source. I had this connection with Gurudev, with Krishna, with the Guru Parampara, and this made me really, really happy. And now, maybe it takes some time, it will take some time probably, but I am connected now. And I could feel it also when I was initiated. The same day, at that time I was not so happy when I came, but when I was initiated, it was on a Saturday, I remember, immediately very nice dreams, very good sleeping, the next weeks, very, very nice, very, very, so there was a change. And then something should happen when you get initiated, I think. The others, they had also something like this. Yeah. So, now, we have Gurudev's books. You can know him by reading his books. You should do it. And but also there is a little danger sometimes. Maybe we are reading this and we cannot ask Gurudev, how we understand it. So then it's good to discuss it with other devotees. Maybe, I'm thinking this is like this. What do you think? Huh? So this is very important. So this is Sadhu Sangha, yeah? Swajatya Susnigdha Sadhu Sangha. Huh? The same mood, Swajatya, Susnigdha, affectionate. And Sadhu Sangha should be more qualified than we are. Yeah, and this is now what we are looking for. We're looking someone who is so qualified, who is on the level of Gurudev, and who can give another push, forward to the highest goal. The highest goal. I was also in some other missions, and I looked at their songbooks, but the really high songs are not in there. Rishabhanu Sutta, the Palyadasi Kori. So they are not there. This is only Guru. They're like Sakya Ras, okay, this is good. But the high songs of Guru that Gurudev gave, they are here. And also, what I understood is it's very important to sing these songs, because in these songs is the mood of the one who wrote or manifested this book. So when I understood this, but I'm also limited because I came very late. I was already 40 years old when I came to this movement. So the young ones, they have a better chance, better memory. I learned some verses. Now I'm forgetting some verses. And also, one thing is also very important. In Jaiva Dharma, there's one verse. Amnaya Praha Tattvamahi, this one. Dash Mul Tattva. Very important. And Gurudev was stressing this one. This is according to Tattva, the condensed teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in one verse, according to Tattva. But there is another verse, according to Rasa. There's Aradyo Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas, and Gurudev quoted this verse more than the other one, because he's more rasic. But still, there's also rasa in the other one, of course. But and he quoted this, and then and these books. Also, I met some devotees from ISKCON, and they are initiated by a devotee who is in ISKCON, the head pujari. The head pujari is from Switzerland, he's disciple of Gurudev, and they got initiated by him. So, and they were talking, and we were talking, and they told me, they are reading the books, and then they also said there are many other devotees in ISKCON who are reading the books of Gurudev. Yeah, this is but maybe not openly, a bit covered, veiled, but still, then they, because also there was one quite elevated and still elevated devotee in ISKCON I saw some 2 years ago, and he was giving classes, but he was giving the same class that he gave about 20 years ago, because what was missing? Sadhu Sangha, or Mahad Sangha, what Gurudev also said. Mahad Sangha. What? 10 minutes over already? Yeah. First I thought I cannot fill 10 minutes, but I wanted to. But Gurudev was very mercy here, Radha Gopinath, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, very mercy, and giving me some inspiration. So I want also others to give a chance to speak. And Vansha Kalpatu, Vyascha Kripa Sindhu Devacha, Patitanam Pavni Vaishnava.
It goes fast.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kamalakanta Prabhu, for sharing. When he was speaking about initiation, I remember when I first met Gurudev on the idea of initiation. I was in Seattle at the time, and I had a private meeting with him to tell him that I'm not sincere or ready for initiation. And he said, anyhow, you should come in process. And he said, you should take initiation from any bona fide spiritual master. And he didn't push himself. He just said any, and he even gave some suggestions. He named it, it's not screwed in properly. He named a couple of persons and gave as an idea. And I said, no, I like you, but I'm just not ready yet. And he said, okay, in Kartik. But I thought, what a beautiful humility. He wasn't saying, you should take me. He said, you should come in process and accept any bona fide spiritual master. Now I'd like to call the Shakti over there of the Shakti man, Madhavi, Didi, to please come forward and offer your heart-like flowers to Srila Gurudev's lotus feet.
Don't look at me.
We won't look at you, don't worry. No one's looking at you.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Panchakalpatarubhyasya Kripasindhivya eva cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. I wish you had run out of time and I wasn't here. But I don't really know how to glorify my Srila Gurudev. I wish I was more qualified to glorify him. I keep on trying to be more qualified to glorify him. But Gurudev gave chances to even the most unqualified. And I first met Gurudev when I was 14 years old. And I had come out of Gurukul. I had all kinds of stuff I won't bore anybody with, but I was a teenager. And honestly, I mean, I guess it's changed a little bit now, but I didn't know if I wanted to be like a devotee, actually. I didn't know what it all meant to me right at that point. But my mom had moved us here and we left everything, and so we were there. We stayed in the Mathura Math. And I caught sight of Srila Gurudev. I would say it was at first sight, but actually I watched him for a bit. He used to sit outside of his room on the second, or I don't know, where his room when it was downstairs in the Mathura Math. And he would sit out there, and at that time he was doing a lot of translations. So he would sit out and take the morning sun, and he'd be writing away. He'd usually have like a book under his arm, and he'd be there. And like nobody would be bothering him. Brahmacharis would be doing different things here and there. And I would sit against the post that was just a little bit, kind of opposite but to the side. And I would watch him. And I still like to watch him. I do that more than reading Tattva. Just his every movement, his every interaction, his everything. I think about, it's probably like a really simple statement, but we hear that Guru is like our mother and our father, and I feel like I keep on relearning that, like all the time, like how Gurudev gives us everything. I'm really only here because of Gurudev. I don't know. I'm learning to develop some desire to become a devotee, but really I want more of him. He stole my heart away completely and didn't mind that I was really just a nonsense. Like, I came to him once and I was like, Gurudev, I don't know why I'm here. And he's like, what? He leaned right over off his bed, leaned down and looked deep into my eyes. So sweet. And I was like, I just came here to hang out. All my friends are here in Kartik and it's fun. But I don't want to do any of the other things. And first of all, he just encouraged me in sweet ways. He told me how much I'd done. He told me how far I had come and how much a ticket costs. It costs so much money, and you have flown so far, and it is so hard. And, he told me all these sweet things to and I was thinking, okay, you're really pulling my leg here, Gurudev. But he did that. He was so charming. And then he distracted me away from whatever, my angst. And then he told me we were in Govardhan. He said, Giriraj Govardhan is just there, across the road. run there and go and roll in the dust of Giriraj and cry and beg for a place. Anyway, Gurudev gave us so much Udipan, like to remember him all over the place. Like this Giriraj Mahotsav, we in Badger, we do it like twice a year, all over the world. We do it all the time, and it's so potent and so powerful because he made such a strong impression. This Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. It's Hare Krishna song we sang earlier. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I feel forever indebted for these things. And one thing I wanted to say, and I tried to look for the source, but I couldn't figure it out. But Sadhbhuj and Madhukar, we were talking last night as we're trying to get prepared, and I'm not very scholarly, so I didn't know how to get prepared. But they were talking about Param Gurudev saying something about how this separation feeling creates like a can you explain it, Madhukar? I couldn't find the source. I was looking for it. But it's this energy. So what I took from it is that Param Gurudev said something about this, this separation. It's like it can pull build up a pressure that like pulls us there. And so sometimes I feel this, we hear all these things and I see they're not little, these everythings that Gurudev gave us, and they pull, even when I don't want it to. It's like I'm turning away. I'm like, okay, I don't really want to chant though, Gurudev, but it's like pulling. He's pulling. And so I guess this is a festival of that today. I don't know really where I would be without Gurudev. And he's, we heard so many glories of Gurudev. Gurudev has so much, he's done so much everywhere, transformed the whole world, I didn't read for the whole article yet, but I'm really excited to finish it about how he transformed Mathura. And all of these glories, but he also he touched all of us and changed us forever. And I guess that's more important to me. I'm selfish. I beg on this day, Srila Gurudev, that you'll never stop that pulling. And even though I'm really not a devotee, you'll keep me close to you and you won't leave me behind. And thank you, everyone, for your heartfelt offerings and beautiful remembrances of Srila Gurudev. It really helps. It creates more of that longing. I want it to build up. What else do I have?
Thank you, Madhavi Didi, for sharing in such a beautiful, I want to use the word simple-hearted, honest way. It's so beautiful to see that. As I was searching for a quote from Param Gurudev on separation, I came upon a quote that I've never seen before, and it's very short. It was posted by Avadut Maharaj in 2018. It's a quote from our Srila Prabhupada before his final departure, November 1977. Quote, "Come close and hear from Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj. Please take it into your heart what he is speaking." So you're talking about pulling. Prabhupada pulled everyone to come close to hear from our Gurudev, and that they should pull his katha into their heart. Now I'd like to call the Shakti man, Sadhbhuj Prabhu, to please come forward and offer your Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev. Chair, okay.
I'd never heard that quote before.
Prabhupada told it, it's probably from the transcript,
Wow.
because he put it in quotes.
Yeah. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshura-militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namah Om Vishnu Padaya Shri Radhika Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayaneti Namane Shri Krishna Lila Katane Sudaksham Udarya Madhurya Ganeshta Yuktam Varamvaranyam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Tvam Shirasha Namami Makam Karoti Vachalam Pangan Langaite Garim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Gurundi Nataram. I offer my Dandavat Pranams at the lotus feet of my Diksha Guru Nitya Leela His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, who pulled me out of this ocean of material existence, is pulling me out of this ocean of material existence. I offer my Dandavat Pranams to my Shiksha Guru, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, and to Srila Bhakti Rakshak Srila Sridhar Goswami Maharaj. I hope you don't mind, but I get nervous speaking just spontaneously, so I wrote something, and so I'll read that if that's okay with everybody. I know it's kind of, when people are reading, they're not really making eye contact.
Great reading accent.
Is it? Yeah. Bath. Yeah. Gurudev actually said that to me once. He said, bath, laugh, I don't understand. And then he asked Brajanath what I was saying, and he's Dutch. Anyway. But before I begin, I also wanted to express my gratitude to all of the devotees for the beautiful Pushpanjali that they've given so far. And I have to say, particularly to the ladies, so inspiring and so connecting of the heart. Men tend to be a little bit more on the intellectual platform, but you all really connected me to this beautiful occasion, both the fire and the water. And if you think they're both essential ingredients for a beautiful artik for our Guru Maharaj. So I thank you all very much for that, for moving me in that way. Okay. Srila Gurudev sees my heart laid bare, my faults, my doubts, the burdens I wear. He knows the lapses I try to disguise, the wavering vows, the half-spoken lies. Yet nothing in me escapes his sight. He shapes the cure with perfect right. To hear Gurudeva's mercy already in play, but deeper grace appears when his glance turns my way. In that single look, his compassion is perfectly shown, and I understand then how true fortune is known. If I deal in false display, cloak my motives, turn away, or chase the counsel of the vain, then Gurudev mercifully speaks again. You seek my shelter with your voice, yet guard the habits you call choice. Your ears are shut, your pride stands tall, you've not become my Sadbhuja all. Thus self-deceived, I stand confined, though freedom waits within the mind. Rejecting his correction, I turn from devotion's door, committing spiritual suicide, forfeiting what grace is for. Pride rises within me, placing myself above his place, forgetting etiquette entirely as I challenge his embrace. I claim I long for what is pure, yet cling to what makes doubt endure. I beg for health, then try to steer the very cure I ask to hear. But who is healed by his own command? What patient guides the doctor's hand? I approach the Braj Rasik Vaishnav for grace, yet keep my will in the highest place. No lasting good can come to me, my chains remain, though I call it free. The true Guru gives what strips and heals, the bitter truth the heart conceals, and the true disciple, firm and still, receives the change that shapes the will. Bhagavan appears to me as Sri Guru near, out of compassion, in a form my heart holds dear. And as Sri Guru came, he withdrew from my sight one day, entering his eternal pastimes to deepen my service and steady my way. To weep in this way is the truth my heart must hold, inspired by the mercy of those who also feel separation's pain so bold. By the grace of my Gurudev and our Rupanuga line, this realization will one day awaken and fully become mine. Thus Viraha Utsav rose as the hymn of the wise, where separation discloses the mercy hidden from my eyes. For longing refines what the heart would otherwise miss, and sorrow painfully uncovers the depths of remembered bliss. As I remember Shri Guru and softly let Harinam arise, I long for the ache of separation to open my inward eyes. So let me remain unfinished, awake, chanting without demand for comfort's sake. If tears should come, let them fall where they may. If not, at least let honesty be how I stay. Let my only prayer be steady and true, to remember Gurudev in all that I do, to bear this separation without disguise, and trust this ache is mercy in disguise. In 2000, you said to me, you should prepare for when Guru leaves. Our relationship is internal, and at that time there will be no material limitation of time or circumstances restricting our relationship. Srila Gurudev, I didn't write this to sound devotional or to present myself as resolved. It's about telling the truth while I'm still unfinished. I am still meditating on those words, which I suspect will never reach conclusion. I wrote this to be honest with you and all the devotees present. You already see where I actually stand. By your mercy, I am slowly realizing my own resistance, how quickly I try to manage what you give me, to soften it, reinterpret it, and make it easier to accept. This Pushpanjali originates in that tension, wanting your grace, yet struggling with the way it actually reaches me. You see straight through me, and that exposure is what unsettles me. It exposes the parts of me that would rather remain untouched and hidden. I am learning to trust your mercy, not when it reassures me, but when it dismantles me. And I am choosing to stay present anyway. What I'm attempting to acknowledge here is discipline as mercy, not discipline as control or punishment, as I once viewed it, but as the only kind of care that can actually cure me. My problem isn't that I don't understand your instructions, it's that I resist them. I hear you, I want grace, and then I struggle with the way it shows up. This Pushpanjali doesn't attempt to resolve that conflict, it stays in the tension. It keeps returning to that discomfort because that's where I can feel your corrective work actually happening. To borrow a phrase from Param Gurudev, how can I understand the heart of a supramundane personality without even considering the consciousness to do so? So I'm not claiming realization of the effect your mercy is having on me. I'm not asking for reassurance. I'm not asking for relief, and I'm not bargaining for comfort. I'm offering consent. I'm declaring that I will stay and stand with you, despite my lack of qualification to do so. I will keep chanting and keep remembering you, even what remains is. I trust that you're working on me, and that I fully embrace and act on the powerful invocation of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. This is from Sri Guru and His Grace. And God has no plans the environment. The responsibility of the environment does not rest upon us. Our responsibility is with ourselves alone. The environment is in the hands of the Lord. He has not done any wrong to me. If I am sincere, then I have to adjust myself with Him. By our stances in the battle, our patriotism will be put to test. We will be tested to see whether we are real soldiers or not. Anything may come, but we will have to face that. I must not forget my Lord, my Guru, my Gauranga, my Radha Govinda under any circumstances. Under all unfavorable circumstances, I must stand with my head erect and say, yes, I am a servant of that clan, that sampradaya. Everyone may leave me, but I shall stand alone. With this attitude, we must march on. Whatever the circumstances may be, the recognition may come in my favor that, yes, under such trying circumstances, He is still there, and our superiors will be pleased with us. So I declare that I stand with Gurudev as he stood with me, and I will not move. Vanchakalpa Trubhascha Kripasinda Devachat Kritam Pavnadeya Vaishnadeya Namaha.
Thank you, Sadhbhuj Prabhu, for your sharing that beautiful, powerful, and raw declaration. I think we all heard parts of ourselves in that poem. As you were speaking that, I was remembering what Srila Gurudev was saying, what does Guru want from his disciple? And Gurudev said, loyalty. He knows that we're not perfect. If we were perfect, as Srila Sridhar Maharaj said, we wouldn't need help. We need help. But how can he help us? If we're loyal. Despite any disqualification we might have. And the example Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives is of a dog. A dog, what qualification does he have? And yet he has loyalty, which endears him to his master so much that his master will fight for him. So we should become like this for our Gurudev. This loyalty. And then of course Gurudev said, and then Gurudev wants our independence. That's another story. That's a hard thing to give. Next I'd like to call Madhukar Prabhu to come forward and offer your Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev. Would you like that?
अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः विष्णुपदाय शिराधिकप्रियात्मने श्रीश्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायणेति नामिने नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय केशवाभिन्नरूपिणे श्रीश्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त Vamaniti namini Bhaja Shri Krishna Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So first of all, I offer my unlimited Dandavat Pranam to the lotus feet of my Srila Gurudev on his disappearance day today, onto the lotus feet of Srila Vaman Gosai Maharaj, the Srila Trivikram Gosai Maharaj, our Param Gurudev, our Rupanukoriya Guru Varga, all the Vaishnavis assembled here. So I don't really have so much of a plan of what to say. I'll see what happens, but there's just like little bits and pieces, and I'll see what happens. But I remember there's an article by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur called Sadhana. And I don't remember so clearly. I just remember one place. I think he said that there could never be any auspiciousness in the life of a sadhak if he's overcome by hriday durbalya, if there's weakness of heart. And I remember reading, I think it was in Krishna Bhajanamrita, that somebody is a Vaishnava to the degree that they've had experience of Nam. To that degree that we have had actual contact with the pure Nam, to that degree we are a Vaishnava. That's how you determine, that's... And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Harinam Chintamani, I think it's chapter 12 or 13, when he talks about chanting with distracted chanting. He gives so many so much helpful advice about how we can chant the name with a concentrated mind. And so when Manjulala Gidi was speaking about what was Gurudev saying of that we need the mercy of the dawn to be able to chant Harinam. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also in that chapter, he mentions that. And I remember also, there's some other things he's saying, like when Hari Titi, when the Titis of Hari come, all these things we need to be able to chant Harinam with the focused mind. And we see before every Titi, Srila Gurudev would have devotees, he would start speaking on that Titi like a week before, and he would have all the devotees, we just published this in this article about Mathura, he would have, like, before Baladev Purnima, before Krishna Janmashtami, 1 week before, he'd be speaking on Krishna Tattva every day, preparing all the devotees for the day, and having all the devotees speak on that day and correcting them. And all these things, Gurudev gave us everything that we need to be able to chant Nam and have actual experience of Nam. And so on these days, especially this day, Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj's appearance day, every year, how many times would Gurudev speak about this Titi? And in such a deep way, there's the first chapter of Prabandhavali, and we put a large chapter in this A True Master, a True Servant, Srila Gurudev's glorification of Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj. Also in 2005, Rays of the Harmonists, I think, he also has beautiful glorification of Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj. And Srila Gurudev chose this Titi because, I think I've heard somebody say this before, but on this Titi, then Gurudev has so many disciples all over the world, and when he chose this Titi, because then they would also have to glorify Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj. Maybe if Gurudev didn't enter Nitya Leela on this day, then maybe Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj wouldn't have such a big festival all over the world all the time. But Srila Gurudev's affection for Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj is, we can't even imagine. Even the very beginning of Srila Gurudev's, in his pastimes in this world, showing the example of a perfect Rupanuga Sadak for us, or an example for us, in the very beginning of his pastimes, it was Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj who took Srila Gurudev to Srila Param Gurudev. And his pastimes began and ended in the exact same way, that Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj comes on this day of his appearance day, and then he took Srila Gurudev. And so, for me on this day, this Hriday Durvalya, so many times in 1997, Gurudev came to me and gave me some inspiration, and then he'd leave and then I'd become weak again, and then he'd come again, and this would happen multiple times every single year. Yeah, Gurudev would come to me and I'd feel inspiration, and then he'd leave, and then after a while, I just wouldn't take it. I'd take it for granted, and even though he gave me such a valuable thing, I just throw it away and take something totally useless. And still, on this TT that comes every year, then I get some inspiration, and then after a while, again, I'm watching my stupid YouTube videos and doing whatever, and then every now and then he'll give me some inspiration, and he'll feel something, and oh yeah, his mercy is still with me. Then again, and so on this day, I think something that would be really helpful for me to remember, I think I spoke about this another year, but just remembering the example of Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj when he was just a little boy. He was 9 years old in his village there. His mother, I forgot her name, I think it was something Bhuvana, I can't remember her name, but and his uncle, he was 9 years old. His mother's a disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, and he heard that they're organizing a little group, and they were going to go to Mayapur for Sri Navdeep Dham Parikrama, and so he said, I want to go for that. And his mother didn't go that year, but his uncle Virendra Prabhu, who later became Bhakti Kushal Narasimha Maharaj, and his aunt, they took him there. And then the second that he came into contact with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada and with Vinod Bihari Brahmachari, and and Narahari Seva Vigraha Prabhu. The first time he saw them, he took hold of their feet and he never let go for the rest of his life. After the Navadip Parikrama, then it was time for everybody to go back home. And there was no way that they could take him home. He was determined, like a mountain. There's no way that they could pull him away. And he wouldn't budge. And his aunt was thunderstruck, it's written. And then his uncle Virendra Prabhu said, they just opened up this year the Bhaktivinoda Institute and let him stay here, and after the school's finished then he'll go back home. But he never went back home. He never went back home for the rest of his life. Srila Gurudev is exactly the same way. When even before Gurudev met Param Gurudev directly, just from the letter, Gurudev resolves that yes, this is the first contact, the first letter that he got from Param Gurudev. He never let go of Param Gurudev's feet. And then the first time that he met Param Gurudev, when Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj took him to meet Param Gurudev, then for the rest of his life, he never returned back to his home. He never let go even for a second. And for me, I get this again and again. Gurudev comes to me. All these Vaishnavas come to me. I get this inspiration, and then I just throw it all away for nothing. And so on this day, I'm just trying to remember this example of Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, how on first meeting, they never let go, and how they would serve the Vaishnavas. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, when he came to Mathura, there's an article, and he expressed his desire that I want the Rupa Nuga conceptions to be disseminated in this Mathura Mandal. And to this day, nobody has done that except Srila Gurudev. There's no other Gaudiya Math there, there's no other ISKCON temple there. It's only Keshavji Gaudiya Math, because that's very difficult. The Mathura Vasis there, it's not easy. The big pundits and like that. But and also when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada went there, he gave a bunch, he spoke a lot of Harikatha, but one thing that he spoke, actually just near to Keshavji Gaudiya Math, and I think it's Baladev Vilas Bhavan or something, is right next to Keshavji Gaudiya Math. And he said that to perform Krishna Anushilan, one must perform Karshna Anushilan. And it is not possible to perform Krishna Anushilan if you're not performing Karshna Anushilan. And Karshna means the devotees of Krishna. So Srila Gurudev would emphasize this verse, Anya Vilashata Shunyam, right, so much. And so Srila Gurudev, he showed the example how to serve the Vaishnavas. And all the godbrothers of Gurudev, they would come to Keshavji Gaudiya Math. It was just, the old bus stand is right next to Keshavji Gaudiya Math, and the train station also. And so whenever all these different associates of Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, whenever they come, and we know all these different associates that he served, are Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And then there's also like Srila Bhakti Sarvasvagiri Maharaj. When he remembered Param Gurudev's separation from him when he entered Nitya Leela, and then there was some problem with his mat. This is way later, like after his time, I think. And Gurudev sent all the brahmacharis from Keshavji Gaudiya Math in the middle of the night, and there's some problem with the mafia, the land mafia. And so Gurudev sent all the brahmacharis from Keshavji Gaudiya Math in the middle of the night, and they built these big walls all around this Vinodmani Gaudiya Math there. And then they came back, they worked all night building these walls, and Gurudev said, don't see any difference between this mat, our mat, that mat. We're all one family. So he showed the ideal example of Vaishnav Seva in his Sadhak group to all these associates of Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to all their disciples. He never saw a difference between their disciples, his disciples. And then also, that was in his Sadhak group. But then also in his Siddha group, he showed this Karshna Anushilan, through how absorbed he was in the moods of the Brajavasis, this rag, this, like the Ragatmika Brajavasis. And is it time? Yeah. Okay. And so then that was through his Siddha Rup. So that verse by Srila Rupa Goswami, Seva Sadhaka Rupina Siddha Rupina Chandari, Tad Bhava Lusina Karya, Rajaloka Visaraka. Srila Gurudev was an example of this verse, how in our Sadhak group and in our Siddha Rup, how we perform Karshna Anushilan in our Sadhak group and Karshna Anushilan in our Siddha Rup. And only by that can we perform Krishna Anushilan. And by showing this example, he fulfilled the inner heart's desire of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada and our Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragam Keshav Goswami Maharaj. So, just remembering this example of Srila Bhakti Goswami Maharaj also who performs this Krishna Anushilan, that's how he got his name, Sajjan Sevak. So, remembering their example, I'm hoping that by speaking this, maybe I'll one day be able to follow their example and get some inspiration and not just keep on whatever. Anyways, sorry. Please accept my pranam vanchakal patru vyashta kripa sandhu vyachal kripa namam
Thank you, Madhukar Prabhu, for sharing news. Yes, I was going to call her next. Thank you. Next, I would like to call Lola Didi to please come forward. Now for your Shraddha Pushpanjali, the Lotus Leader Srila Gurudev. Yeah, we've got a time cut off at 7 o'clock for Aarti. So that's 2 more speakers, 10 minutes each. We will have to continue tomorrow.
Srila Gurudev actually liked people who were glorifying acharyas and gurus to speak philosophy, not only pastimes. But I'm not prepared. So I'll first speak pastime because it's very, very sweet. One time, everyone who was in Mathura, which was all the Mathura Vasis and the Vrindavan devotees, would go to Mathura in the evening to hear Gurudev's classes. And then he would go to his room on the roof, and it was the last day before he was leaving for some other continent, I forget which one. But all the devotees would line up, and they'd leave a pathway, and all the devotees would be on either side of the pathway. And he would stop and speak to some devotees. And I thought, I have to say something. I have to say something because I won't see him for at least 8 or 10 months. And he had just stepped he had just stepped past me, and I said, "Oh, Gurudev, please always be in my heart." And Gurudev said, "Yes, I always want to be in your heart." And then he said, "And for all." So actually, I heard him directly. He actually wants to be in our hearts. And so this is the perfection of philosophy. Gurudev gave such wonderful, deep philosophical understandings for our Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada from his pranam mantras, and how he was teaching Gauravani. And when you look at Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's Prabhupada's pranam mantra, he also was teaching the deep teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly in the mood of Srila Rupa Goswami. And so our Srila Narayan Maharaj, with his deep, deep blue eyes, was also giving this. And he was so much offering all of us and everything he did to Srimati Radhika. He always said that. He said, "I will take your heart like a flower and offer it to Srimati Radhika." So, and of course, Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself in the mood of Srimati Radhika. And So actually, Mayapur and Vrindavan, they're both have incredible aspects of the Lord, Madhurya and Audarya. And the Lord is complete like that. But who came first? Mahaprabhu or Radha and Krishna? But I was hearing that last year a bit. I always thought that I liked Vrindavan better than Mayapur, but then I realized I shouldn't think like that because both are equally ecstatic. So please forgive me that I didn't speak any philosophy, but the time is short, and thank you for letting me speak.
There's someone back there directing, and I've been directed to request the director to speak. Jai Chaitanya, Prabhu, it's your turn. Chalo. No way. Popcorn, come on. Don't have anything. When the first time I saw Guru, when Gorgovinda Maharaj said Prem Yuga would start in '96, and that's when Gurudev started his worldwide yatra, and it was the saying, time flies when you're having fun. And really, it was so much fun that like 20 years just go by and you're like, oh my God, it's like 2 seconds. That's the nature of time with pure devotee. Because it was just amazing, I met Gurudev in like 96, 97, that first year. And I was like, oh my God. That's what it was like. And I remember literally, that saying, you worship the ground they walk on.
Yeah.
I was actually doing, I was grabbing all these sticks and stuff where Gurudev would walk. This is when I first met Gurudev. I was like, I kept it. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God. I had actually read Gurudev's books before I met Gurudev because I was in an ISKCON library, big library, and I find Gurudev's book, one book out of a whole library.
What book?
I don't remember, it was so long ago, it was like 94 or 3 or something.
Probably Going Beyond Vaikuntha or something.
Yeah, and they were like, don't read that. No, really, I couldn't believe it. I was like, why? I didn't know anything really, and I remember sneaking down to that library at night with the flashlight and reading it. And that's kind of Gurudev's mood. Like, how many of us snuck off to see Gurudev? How many of us were sneaking off in some way to see Gurudev, sneaking off from some reality to another to see Gurudev? That's kind of like the mood Gurudev came to give. Like, the gopis are always sneaking off. And it's like, it's kind of sneaky, Gurudev's pretty sneaky like that. And when he left, he snuck off. I was there in Puri, so it's really, when Gurudev left, it's kind of difficult to talk about. But yeah, it was magical, just being with Gurudev all the time. It was just magical. And like I said, time flies when you're having fun, and it was so much fun. We had so much fun with Gurudev. It was like just magical. And it just was, he was just here and gone. And yet we got so much more. Like Prabhupada, he didn't get to spend much time with his Prabhupada. We got to spend so much time with Gurudev. It was amazing. I used to go on a morning walk with Gurudev every day in Hawaii. Just me, Gurudev, and either Madhu Maharaj or Brajanath or both. For months and months, just me and Gurudev walking every day. And it was just like, who gets to do that? It was just incredible. So I'm really lucky, and
There's no words. And the world's gone completely crazy, and I'm like, God, Gurudev, what is the lesson? Today, Gurudev said to me, he said, the sweetness of divine love is available. That's the message for today. And isn't it? Yes. Isn't that what he came to give? The sweetness of divine love is available. You know, you just gotta, like Gurudev says, hold on to his little finger.
Don't let go.
That's all.
And he said he had nothing to say. Next, I would like to call Janava. Yeah. Because Gurudev would have you come and say something. 2 words.
Or Vrinda Devi Ashtaka.
By heart. Chair or seat?
Was it Vrinda Devi Ashtaka?
It was. Gange Champe at the
Namo Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shishimad Bhaktivedanta Narayaniti Namah. So I didn't prepare anything, but I wanted to say that it's so beautiful to see all of the little, parshads, like all of the associates of Gurudev coming together on this day. It's strange to go all around and see so many new faces and new family members and everything. Strange and wonderful, but then on this day, there's just such a family mood of remembering our Father. And earlier I was speaking with one devotee and she was saying that we're like lost orphans in this world after Gurudev. And it's interesting because I feel that way a lot. And when you see like our family members as we're all these children, and I don't even know where I'm going with this, but you kind of see like how they all relate with Gurudev in that same way that they did back then. And so it's kind of just an interesting framing that I hadn't ever really looked at our godbrothers and godsisters like that. It's all like actually brothers and sisters with Gurudev actually as our Father. And just noticing that we're all feeling the same mood, and it comes out in these different manifestations of how we're missing him. And another thing I was noticing from the offerings is just that Gurudev is so special in that he relates with everyone exactly where they need it, you know? And so some people experience Gurudev as, really strong and tough and fierce and fearless and scary, And then some people, they perceived him and related with him in such a soft and gentle way and with so much love, like a father. And it's just so beautiful how everyone got exactly what they needed from Gurudev. And he has some kind of special mercy that's gone into them. And I see like those different kinds of qualities that people are glorifying in Gurudev in those devotees, and it's very beautiful. I also noticed that the qualities that they're saying, I wish I had, I wish I was like very authentic and honest, and I wish I was like, not so weak and had like a strong heart and this and that, and like enthusiasm. I noticed that they actually have all of those qualities that they're praying for, or so it seems to me. But for Gurudev, for me, Gurudev has always been my father and my mother, and I feel just like the same as when I was about 5 or 6. I don't feel like I've changed very much since then. And when I was 5 years old, we were living in Mathuramat, and Gurudev used to sit on his little wooden chair outside, and people would come to him for darshan, so I would come up to him and speak with him sometimes. And usually not anything really important. But one day I had something really important to say, and I was like, Gurudev, I have no taste in chanting.
You were 5.
I was 5. I was like, I don't like it. I don't have any taste. Can you give me taste in chanting? And then he said, oh. And then he picked up this apple, and then he gave that, and I was like, so if I eat this, I'll have taste in chanting. He was like, and then I just like walked away eating my apple. And then, so he would just find these little ways to like engage us in these different, I don't know, engage us and find these ways to enthuse even like little 5-year-olds. And I also think that Gurudev is just so expert. I spoke recently with some different devotees, and I like to ask them, how they met Gurudev and what attracted them to him. And they all say, like, oh, everything that I know is from Gurudev, or everything that I have is from Gurudev. And it shows up in, like, singing, for example. Like, for me, Gurudev would ask me to sing sometimes as a service. And I would get, like, crazy stage fright. I still do. And so he told me to close my eyes and fold my hands and not look at anyone, and then just sing like that. And so he would just like give all of these little instructions in everyone's different area. And even like investment bankers, I've heard them say, like, I learned everything that I know about banking from Gurudev, everything that I know about finances is what I learned from Gurudev. It's really interesting to just see how he really is just completely like omnipotent and touched everyone in every single different way. And it's so hard sometimes that we're all so different, but it's also so beautiful because in that way we spread more and we have all of these strengths in these different areas. And so it's beautiful to see all of these little particles of Gurudev's mercy all over the world. And thank you so much for all of your seva to Gurudev. It's very inspiring to see, and I pray that I can, with full enthusiasm, just do like real service for Gurudev and please him in this life and make actual advancement, make him proud. So please bless me.
Kanta Didi. 2 words.
I'll just tell a little story. Okay? Om Gyanatvarandasya Gyanagirasha Chaksvarnavata Tasmai Vanchakapatipuris Chakapasa Yukiyavacha Paticha Dharmikya Vaishnaviti Namo Namaha. So I'll just tell when I met Gurudev, because I think it was just amazing, and I know everyone has their own stories, but I really think it was. So when I saw him first, I got to the program by mercy of someone, and I saw him speaking, and I saw everyone touching Gurudev's feet, and as he would walk after class, and I just felt like, oh, I really want to touch Gurudev's feet. I don't know why. I mean, he wasn't Gurudev at that time, but it just looked really great. So then then I went for darshan the next day, the first time to meet Gurudev, and it was just amazing. The room was packed, jam-packed, and I was at the back and I was looking and still thinking that I really wanted to touch Gurudev's feet, and I felt like he just pulled me, and like the room just parted, and all of a sudden I was right in front of Gurudev, and I just put my head right at his feet. It wasn't planned. I wouldn't have done it. I didn't know how to do it. I was not even at like taking initiation stage. I thought, I like the ideas. I didn't get the idea of Radha and Krishna, and I thought that's really weird. The Sika in the back and everything. I mean, I didn't know anything, but Gurudev was so attractive. So I was sitting in front of Gurudev, and then I had the spotlight. I was right there, and he said, then I was thinking in my head all of my path, what I thought about spiritual life and what I wanted to do. And he looked at me and he said, I know everything about you. And then, because I was thinking, how am I going to explain? Where am I going to start? And then he said that.
and it was really piercing, but it wasn't totally piercing. I still thought, okay, that limits it. Now I'm going to start here, and I kind of had my place where I was going to start. And then he said past, present, and future. and he looked me up to down in that way that is not comfortable. You wouldn't do it in the material world, but he did it without shame, and he looked me from up to down, and he analyzed my face. And as he was saying that, really slow, past, and then okay, more things were cut down. I was thinking, present, future, and then that was it. And then he looked at me and he said, I can take you from here to there. And it was just so powerful because where I was searching all different types of paths, and I was thinking that I keep going in circles. I'm just not actually going anywhere. Okay, I meditate for a little while or do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that, but it's just not going anywhere. So when he said that, I can take you from here to there, it just made perfect sense to me. And he said, you should take initiation, and I said, okay, and then that was it, And it's just such an amazing, I think it was, the most amazing.
It's amazing.
Because
That was amazing. You have 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Like I said before, you never know. It might just be the few words, because something can just pierce so deeply. Thank you for sharing. I have 4 minutes. Does anyone else want to speak? Rasaki.
Well, I don't know why, but Gurudev gave me service in his bookshop just recently before Kartik. So many people are coming to the bookshop. But I realized that Gurudev is not only for us. No, Gurudev is for also other sanghas. And it was so nice the other day that one girl from South India came to the bookshop. And she's from ISKCON. And she bought 14 books from Gurudev. And just today I was posting the videos, and she said, today is the disappearance day of Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. I am saying yes. And she, can I give a donation for the festival? And I said yes. So she gave a donation. She said, I was waiting to come to Vrindavan and take all these books to my home. So I realized that Gurudev is not only for us, his children, but also for everyone. So many devotees from many sanghas, that they are taking shelter of Gurudev, to ISKCON, all other mats that come here, and they have so much respect and honor for our Gurudev. So I just want to share that because I feel like it's amazing, that Gurudev is still taking the heart of everyone, not only his children's heart, but also his all other devotees. So I want to share that.
Thank you. It's 7 o'clock, yes? One small thing. I'll keep the mic up. You have to stand.
Okay. So I just wanted to mention that when Gurudev said, that I know your past, present, and future, and it really, penetrated me. And he said, I can take you from here to there. That now, okay, so many years have passed and I've done so many things and I've not been the best devotee that Gurudev would have wanted me to be, but I always remember that Gurudev said he knew my future. So he knew my future, he knew everything that I was ever gonna do or be or not do, and he's still gonna take me from here to there. So I just, that it gives me power.
So a quick summation. Srila Gurudev would always say that without food, we can live for a couple of weeks. Without water, maybe a few days. Without air, maybe a few minutes. But without love, we would die in a moment. And he would say, what is love? Krishna is love, and love is Krishna. But we know that the first form of Krishna to manifest in our lives is Shri Guru. So Srila Gurudev has famously been quoted as saying, I am closer to you than the air that you breathe, which means he is more necessary than the oxygen that we breathe from outside. He is that Atma Bandhu. Why does he know past, present, and future? Because he has been traveling with us for all time and will continue with us for all time, and he knows us now. So that person who knows all of that and who knows the nature of our Atma and our eternal service to Radha and Krishna, who can bring us to that, that person is worthy of taking complete shelter of. So on this day, the day of the disappearance of Srila Gurudev, the day of the appearance day of Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Maharaj, I'm praying in the dust of their lotus feet for myself and for all of us, that may they keep us in their pockets. May they make us beautiful, fragrant, sweet, and fragrant, like soft, beautiful flowers, and offer us unto the lotus feet of their beloveds. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. By the way, we will continue tomorrow evening. Whoever wants to come, whoever wants to speak about Gurudev or to hear about Srila Gurudev, we will continue speaking tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Now it's time for Aarti. Shri Shachinandana Gaura Hari ki jai, Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Kiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chade Arati Kasho Bha